you want to do the box pleat, find the middle of your width by the length that you've cut. That is 3 times where you want to fix it, either the waist or the around arm. Find the middle and mark either 2 inches depending on the size of the box you want. If you want 4 inches box, mark 2 inches each on the top, 2 inches down from the middle. This I'm marking 1.5 because I want a 3 inches box. So from the middle, I'll mark 1.5, from the 13, 1.5, mark. We continue with 1.5 inches till you get to the end. Do the same thing on the left and on both on the down too, so that it will match and you get accurate pleats. So we are going to start pleating our box pleat. The box just tells you that in the middle we will have our box in the middle. If it's an inverted pleat, the middle will have the inverted. But this is the box, so we are going to make sure we will pin one to the left, one to the right. This time it's not a knife pleat that will do it in the same direction. We will do one on the left, one on the right. So I want a 3 inches box. So the 3 inches box in the middle will be the 1.5 in the middle, 1.5 from the left, 1.5 from the right. So I'm going to take the first 1.5. Since I want a more fullness pleat, I'm going to skip the next 1.5 and put it on the next one. So you hold it this way, skip, then pin on the next 1.5. Take your pin, then pin it on both top to down. This is a box pleat. When you finish one direction, continue with the opposite direction. They all don't go in the same direction. So on the left side, I'm going to take my 1.5, skip another point because I want more fullness. Then I place it on the next. Then I pin. Make sure the points meet so that you get accurate marking. So this is showing I have a box pleat in the middle. Well, this is the middle line. When you're doing your main work, don't mark the straight line. This is just for teaching purpose. So when I finish my first box, since this one goes in the right direction, I have to bring one that will meet it at the left. So I'll skip the next one and take the next one, bring it, skip and bring it to the opposite to meet the first box. So then you pin. Make sure the points meet at the end so that you get accurate markings. Straighten it. Since this one went to the left, we'll do the one that goes to the right. We want a 3 inches box, so we are not going to touch this one. We're going to take the next 1.5, skip the next 1.5, then put it on the next point. Make sure the points meet each other. Then you take your pin, then pin. Looking for the next point so that it touches the points I've already marked, then I pin it. So you realize I've got a nice 3 inches box. 1, 3 inches, 3 inches. You always have to make sure you have allowance left for the shaping, because when you are cutting, we added more allowance, about 8 or 10 inches. I'm going to do the left one. This comes here, so we are going to do the next one to face it. So I'll skip the next 1.5. Then it will meet in the opposite direction. Then you pin. 3 inches box, so I'm going to skip one, then pull it in the opposite direction. So you realize if I pick the next point and I'm going to pin it, I'm not going to get allowance that way. So in pleating, we don't stitch on a box, on a pleat. So anytime you realize your pleat is finished, your allowance is finished, don't pleat the next one, leave it. Then take your tape measure and check if you've gotten the right measurement you want. So from the middle point, if I wanted a 9 inches, 4.5, I place my 4.5, then I just mark. So this is my stitching line. I'll get my 9 inches, then I just, so you remember, anytime you want to do pleating, don't pleat to the last and always leave an allowance so that you can get a space to shape the measurement you want. So this is a box pleat. Anytime you want a box, make sure the box is rather in the middle. Same way goes for the inverted. The inverted and the box pleat goes together. This side, the one that meet inwardly, that is the inverted part. So when you want an inverted pleat, just make sure the inverted part is in the middle. So when I'm wearing a box, a pleat, I'll just determine which one is in the middle to name the pleat. If it's the box that is in the middle, I'll just say it's a box pleat. But if it's the inverted that came in the middle, then I'll just say this is an inverted pleat. So the inverted, I'm going to show you how to start with the inverted pleat. Just removing the pins, straighten it. The same marking, since I want a 3 inches inverted pleat, I've marked 1.5 on the right, marked 1.5 on the left. Same on the bottom, the hem of the fabric. So when you want inverted, you just make sure that this time we are not doing, we are going to face it inwardly. So I'm going to skip the first 1.5, take the next point, then bring it towards the middle, then pin. Just look for the point to pin on the line so that you get accurate pleating. So I'm going to skip the next one, then hold it. Since it's inverted, they both have to meet inwardly. So I take the point and meet on the line, then we pin. Okay. So same way goes with the inverted. When this one goes on the left, the next one will follow with the right. So I'm going to skip the next point, then hold the next point that will give me the 3 inches, then fold it in the opposite direction so that I get a box. Make sure the points touches each other. On the left too, since this one is going on the right, I'm going to skip the next point, hold the next 1.5, skip, then it touches the next point. So this is how the inverted is. The only difference is the inverted now lies in the middle. If it's a box, it's the box that will be in the middle. So continuing, I'm going to skip the point. Since this one goes in this direction, the next point should face it in the opposite direction. So just going to skip one point, hold the next point and pin. You realize the next point is going to take up the whole space. So I wouldn't have any space to do my shaping. So if this is the case, leave it so that you can have a space to pleat, because we can't stitch on a pleat. When we finish the whole allowance, we can't stitch on a pleat. So always when it's getting to the finish, leave the rest of the allowance. That's why when you are cutting your 3 times what you want, always add about 6, 8 or 10 inches allowance so that you can have enough space to do your shaping. So on the left, since this one goes here, we are going to face it in the opposite direction. So this one, make sure the points touch. So the same way, when I do the next one, it's going to finish the allowance. I'm not going to touch it. So let's see if we get our 9 inches mark that we want. So I'll put the 4.5 here. So you realize it's right on the beside the pleats. Then I stitch to whatever I want. And mind you, don't stitch on the pleats. So this is also an inverted pleat, because when you put it on the middle part that faces the middle part of the body, is inverted. So we just name it an inverted pleat. If it's a box pleat that is in the middle, you name it a box pleat. So the only difference is whatever is in the middle takes the name of the pleat. When you want to do the back, especially when you want to fix it on the waist, because there's a zip allowance, always take your fabric, the back that you cut, pin the zip allowance like what I've done. Whether you left 1 inch or 1.5 inch, pin it straight. Don't let it confuse you. Just open it, and the middle part where you pin will serve as the middle for the pleating. So from there, you mark either your 1.5 inches if you want a 3 inches box, or 2 inches when you want a 4 inches box. So like I've pinned the back, making serving us as the middle point. Just take your tape measure, start from the middle where it's pinned, and mark your 2 inches or 1.5 inches mark. So you do the same on the left, do the same on the right and on the bottom. When you want the box, start from the next, the first 2 inches, skip, then pin on the next one. Don't let the zip allowance confuse you. Just look at it as a middle point where it's going to help you do the pleating. So you just pin. When you are doing the other side, to hold the next point and bring it to the skip, bring it to the next, then you pin. So you get your box in the middle, still with your zip allowance. When we finish pleating, we will just remove. So let's continue with the pleating so that you don't get confused. So this is in the right direction. We need one that goes on the left, to the opposite to meet it. So make the points meet on each other, then you pin. You take the next one. Pin. So you continue till you get the width of what you want. That's why I'm not going to continue, because when I continue, it's going to take the whole allowance left. So when it happens like that, just open it. And I'm sure because I wanted a small waistline, I just cut 3 times what I wanted. So this shows that I've gotten my 9 inches that I want. You mark, and when you finish, just to separate the back, just remove the pins. Then you get your left and your right for the back. So just don't let the zip allowance confuse. Always pin the zip allowance, open for the zip allowance to serve as the middle point. When you finish, you can remove the pins and you get your left and your right back. So we are done with the pleats, the type of pleats. We've done the knife, we've done the box, we've done the inverted. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. I hope you learned something today. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below or contact us on the number on the screen. If you want to join the Knaspa training, pick the number on the screen and contact us for more information. Don't forget to subscribe, like, or share. Join us in the next episode. Thank you.